Ambassador Gray walked through the crystalline halls of the Galactic Council's central chamber, his footsteps echoing against the ancient walls. As the newest representative from the Blue Star Empire, he had expected his first day to be filled with mundane orientation meetings. Instead, emergency alarms blared through the massive structure. All representatives, report to the Grand Chamber immediately. The announcement system repeated in over 50 different languages. Gray quickened his pace, following the stream of diverse alien species heading toward the chamber. Some floated, others crawled, and a few even phased through walls. But all moved with obvious urgency. The Grand Chamber itself was a marvel of engineering. A vast circular room with thousands of seats arranged in ascending rings. Holographic displays filled the air above the central platform, currently showing only static. Gray found his assigned seat just as High Elder Voss, a tall being with luminescent skin, took the central position. Esteemed colleagues, Voss's voice resonated through the chamber. Today, we must issue our strongest warning yet regarding a species that many have foolishly underestimated. The static in the holographic displays cleared, revealing footage of a massive space battle. Gray leaned forward, his four eyes widening at the scene. A fleet of warships, bearing the infamous marks of the Drakon Empire, faced off against smaller, sleeker vessels of unknown design. What you are witnessing, Voss continued, occurred just 3 days ago in the Orion arm of our galaxy. The Drakon Empire, against our explicit warnings, attempted to conquer a world they believed to be primitive. That world is called Earth. Murmurs filled the chamber. Gray had heard of Earth, a level 3 civilization, barely spacefaring by Council standards. The footage continued playing, showing the Drakon ships launching their first attack. What happened next made Gray grip his seat. The seemingly primitive Earth ships performed maneuvers that should have been impossible, their tactics completely unpredictable. They didn't follow any known military doctrine. Where the Drakon moved in perfect formation, the Earth vessels scattered like startled prey, only to regroup and strike from impossible angles. Observe, Voss highlighted a section of the battle. The humans, as they call themselves, had studied our technologies from salvaged scout ships that had crashed on their world over the decades. They didn't just copy our technology, they improved it. The footage showed Earth ships using modified versions of standard Council weapons, but with devastating new effects. Their shields operated on frequencies that confused Drakon targeting systems, and their weapons combined technologies in ways no Council engineer had considered. The Drakon Empire, which has conquered 17 worlds, lost their entire invasion fleet in 6 hours. Voss's voice carried a clear warning. But that's not why we've called this emergency session. New footage appeared, showing the aftermath. Earth ships had followed the retreating Drakon forces, not to destroy them, but to broadcast a message across all frequencies. We were not ready for visitors, but we were ready for invaders. Remember that difference. Gray felt a chill run through his body. The humans had been preparing, silently and diligently, for decades. From this day forward, Voss declared, Earth and its solar system are classified as a protected zone. No military action against humanity will be tolerated. They have demonstrated not only the ability to defend themselves, but a remarkable capacity for turning any aggression back upon the attacker. The High Elder's gaze swept across the chamber. Humanity's greatest strength is not their weapons or their tactics. It's their ability to adapt, to take our most advanced technology, and reimagine its very foundations. They think differently than any species we've encountered, and that makes them more dangerous than any empire. As the chamber erupted in discussion, Gray sat back in his seat, understanding dawning in his mind. The Council hadn't called this session to merely share information. This was a survival briefing for the galaxy's civilizations. The message was clear. Leave humanity alone, or face consequences no one could predict. 6 months earlier, Admiral Stone stood at the window of Earth's orbital defense station, Guardian 1, watching the stars. 20 years of commanding humanity's secret space force had taught him patience, But today felt different. The long-range sensors had detected something massive entering the solar system. Admiral, his second-in-command, Captain Reed, rushed into the observation deck. Multiple objects just dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Jupiter's orbit. They matched no known configurations. Stone nodded calmly. They had prepared for this day since finding the crashed alien scout ship in the Arctic 30 years ago. "Show me," he ordered. The main screen lit up with images of enormous pyramid-shaped vessels, their dark metal surfaces covered in glowing purple lines. Behind them, hundreds of smaller ships moved in perfect geometric formations. "Their energy readings are off the charts," Reed reported, checking the data streams. "We're counting at least 300 ships, sir. They're broadcasting some kind of message." The message played through the station speakers, translated by their AI systems. "Lesser beings of the primitive world designated Earth, this is Supreme Commander Dox of the Drakon Empire. Your world has been chosen for integration into our glorious empire. Surrender now and become our servants, or face immediate destruction." Stone allowed himself a small smile. They did exactly what the intelligence report suggested. Full of themselves, these Drakon. He pressed a button on his command console. "All stations, initiate Protocol Omega." This is not a drill. Across the solar system, hidden facilities sprang to life. Asteroid bases revealed massive hangars. The dark side of the moon opened to release squadrons of ships. Even Mars' polar ice caps concealed launch facilities. The Drakon fleet approached Earth with complete confidence. Their scans showed only a few primitive satellites and one small defense station. Supreme Commander Dox stood on his bridge, amused by the pathetic defenses. "Fire a warning shot," Dox commanded. "Destroy their orbital station." The lead Drakon ship charged its main weapon, a beam of energy that could crack planets. Just as they fired, Guardian 1 shimmered and vanished, the beam passing through empty space. "Hologram," Dox realized too late. "It's a..." His sentence was cut short as hundreds of human ships appeared from hidden positions. They had been there all along. Their advanced cloaking systems reversed-engineered from that crashed scout ship and improved beyond recognition. "This is Admiral Stone of Earth's Defense Force." A transmission cut through all Drakon communications. "We've been watching your empire's expansion for decades. You should have listened to the Galactic Council's warnings." The human ships moved in patterns that defied conventional space combat logic. Where Drakon vessels fought in rigid formations, Earth ships flowed like water, adapting instantly to every situation. Their weapons combined technologies in ways the Drakon had never seen. "Impossible," Dox shouted as his fleet's formations broke apart. "They're supposed to be primitive. How are they predicting our tactics?" The answer was simple. Humanity had spent years studying the Drakon through hidden probes. They knew every standard formation, every battle protocol. And they had prepared countermeasures for each one. Small human fighters slipped through gaps in Drakon shields, their pilots pulling maneuvers that should have torn their ships apart. Larger Earth vessels used modified gravity weapons to turn the Drakon's perfect formations into deadly traps. "Sir," Reed reported to Admiral Stone, "the enemy is falling back to their pre-planned positions." Stone nodded. The Drakon were doing exactly what the simulations had predicted. "Spring the trap," he ordered. As the Drakon fleet retreated to their fallback position near Jupiter, they found themselves caught between the gravity fields of carefully positioned human satellites. Their faster-than-light drives wouldn't work inside these fields. The first battle for Earth ended in less than an hour. The mighty Drakon Empire had just learned a crucial lesson. Appearances can be deceiving, and humanity was anything but primitive. Looking at the disabled Drakon ships on his screen, Admiral Stone sent a message to Earth's Defense Council. Phase 1 complete. They took the bait. Preparing for Phase 2. The Drakon Empire's Emergency Council gathered in their war room back on their homeworld. Red emergency lights flashed across angry faces as they watched recordings of their failed invasion. How did they know? General Dox paced the room, his scales darkened with rage. How did these primitives predict our every move? A junior officer rushed into the chamber, clutching a datapad. Supreme Commander, we're detecting massive energy signatures throughout Earth's solar system. They're launching something. On Earth, Admiral Stone stood in the Global Command Center beneath Mount Everest. Massive screens showed the status of Operation Thunderstrike, humanity's counterattack plan. Thousands of ships emerged from hidden bases across the solar system, far more than they had revealed in the first battle. All fleet commanders, execute attack pattern Delta, Stone ordered. Show them what humanity really has. The human fleet moved like a swarm of angry bees, each ship acting independently yet part of a greater whole. Unlike the rigid Drakon formations, Earth's ships adapted their tactics in real time, guided by advanced AI systems that learned and evolved during combat. "Sir," Captain Reed reported, "the Drakon are launching their reserve fleet from their forward bases. Estimated 3,000 ships incoming." Stone smiled. "Right on schedule. Deploy the mirror fleet." The Drakon commanders watched in horror as human ships began to change shape. Using technology reversed engineered from multiple alien sources, Earth's vessels could transform their outer hulls, mimicking Drakon ship designs perfectly. Suddenly, the Drakon fleet faced an enemy that looked exactly like themselves. "Shut down all automated systems." Doc screamed into the command network. "They're confusing our targeting computers." But it was too late. The human ships had already infiltrated their formations, causing chaos as Drakon vessels fired on their own allies, unable to distinguish friend from foe. Meanwhile, smaller Earth ships darted between the massive Drakon warships, attaching strange devices to their hulls. These tech leeches, as the human engineers called them, began hacking into the alien vessels' systems, stealing their technology even during combat. "Admiral," Reed's voice carried a note of excitement. "The tech leeches are working. We're downloading their entire military database in real time." Stone nodded. "Begin Phase 3. Show them our special project." From behind Mars emerged humanity's greatest achievement, a massive ship unlike anything the galaxy had seen. It combined technologies from every alien wreck humanity had discovered over the past century, but reimagined in ways their original creators never considered. "This is Admiral Stone to all Drakon forces," his message broadcasted on all frequencies. "That was just our defensive fleet. Would you like to see our actual military now?" The massive human ship activated its main weapon, a device that created temporary wormholes. The Drakon watched in terror as their ships began disappearing, only to reappear seconds later in completely wrong positions, some even materializing inside their own allies. "Impossible." Dox slammed his fist on his command console. "No species has mastered controlled wormhole technology." "That's your problem." Stone's voice came through again. "You assume there are limits to what we can achieve. Humanity doesn't believe in limitations." The battle turned into a complete rout. Human ships herded the scattered Drakon fleet into carefully prepared kill zones, while the massive wormhole ship prevented any escape attempts. In just 3 hours, the mighty Drakon reserve fleet was reduced to floating debris. The few surviving ships sent desperate messages back to their homeworld, warning of humanity's true power. In the Mount Everest Command Center, Admiral Stone received reports from all fleet commanders. Earth's losses were minimal, and the technology captured from the Drakon would advance human engineering by decades. "Send the message," Stone ordered. Across all known communication channels, using frequencies even the Galactic Council didn't know existed, humanity broadcasted their warning. "We hid our true nature not out of fear, but to prepare. Any further aggression against Earth will be met with the full force of human innovation. We are not trapped in space with you. You are trapped in space with us." Deep within the Drakon Empire's fortress world, the Imperial Council faced their greatest crisis in 1,000 years. The chamber's ancient walls, usually glowing with pride, now seemed dim with shame. "Release the elite guard," Emperor Rix commanded, his voice echoing through the chamber. All of them. The elite guard was the Empire's secret weapon. 10,000 ships crewed by veterans of 100 wars, never before deployed all at once. They had trained for centuries, perfecting the art of space warfare. Now, they would face humanity. Admiral Stone received the warnings from Earth's deep space sensors. "They're really doing it," he muttered, watching the tactical display. "They're sending everything they have." The elite guard emerged from hyperspace in waves, their black ships decorated with the red stripes of proven killers. Their formation was perfect, a massive sphere of destruction approaching Earth's solar system. But humanity had one more surprise waiting. "Launch the ghost ships," Stone ordered. From hidden bases throughout the asteroid belt, thousands of ships emerged. But these vessels had no crews. Each was controlled by advanced AI systems, able to react faster than any living pilot. They had been learning, watching every move the Drakon made in previous battles. The elite guard struck first, their weapons turning asteroids into dust. Their attacks were precise, their coordination flawless. But the human AI ships didn't fight like anything they trained for. "Sir," Captain Reed showed Stone the battle data. "The AIs are predicting their moves 5 steps ahead. They're not just fighting. They're playing chess." The ghost ships darted between elite guard formations, their strange movements making targeting impossible. When Drakon ships did hit them, the vessels would split into smaller ships, each still fighting. It was like trying to fight a swarm of intelligent metal bees. Fascinating. Stone watched the tactical display. They're still using their standard combat doctrines, even now. Send in the infiltrators. Small, sleek human ships slipped past the elite guard's outer defenses. Instead of attacking, they'd broadcast signals that played havoc with Drakon communication systems. Soon, the perfect formation began to break apart as ships lost contact with their commanders. "What's happening?" the elite guard commander demanded as his fleet's coordination crumbled. "How are they in our command network?" The answer came in a transmission from Earth. "We've been in your networks since the first battle. Did you really think those tech leeches only stole your technical data?" Humanity's AI ships pressed their advantage, herding the confused elite guard vessels into prepared killing zones. When the Drakon tried to retreat, they found their own communication channels broadcasting false orders, sending ships in wrong directions. "Now," Stone commanded, "show them what psychological warfare really means." Every screen on every Drakon ship suddenly displayed the same message, translated into their language. "Your empire lied to you. We have proof." What followed was a data dump of classified Drakon military files, showing how the Empire had sacrificed countless elite guard ships in secret experiments, how they had hidden the true cost of their wars, how the proud warrior culture was built on carefully constructed lies. The elite guard's perfect discipline finally broke. Ships began fleeing in all directions. Some turned on their own commanders, decades of hidden resentment exploding into mutiny. "Send the peace offer," Stone ordered. "One last time." The message went out to all Drakon ships. "You can retreat now. Return to your empire. Tell them what you've seen. Or you can stay and fight, and we will show you exactly how much we've been holding back." The elite guard's response was immediate. Ship after ship vanished into hyperspace, leaving their perfect formation in ruins. In under 6 hours, the most feared fighting force in the galaxy had been defeated not just by human weapons, but by human cunning. In the aftermath, Admiral Stone sent a final message to the Drakon Empire. "Your elite guard wasn't ready for us. Want to see why we call them our training fleet?" In the debris field that was once the elite guard's fleet, human salvage teams worked quickly. Their ships, looking like mechanical spiders, crawled over broken Drakon vessels, extracting technology and data cores. "Look at this," Dr. Wells exclaimed in the research lab aboard the science vessel Discovery. She held up a piece of Drakon technology, her eyes bright with excitement. "Their quantum computers are using crystal matrices we've never seen before. Around her, hundreds of scientists worked day and night, taking apart every piece of Dracon technology they could find. The lab looked like a mix between a workshop and a playground, with humans excitedly sharing discoveries every few minutes. Back on Earth, Admiral Stone reviewed the latest reports. "They're already improving the Dracon designs?" he asked, surprised even after all these years of watching human innovation at work. "Yes, sir," Captain Reed answered, displaying the data. "Our engineers say the Dracon were only using these crystals at 40% efficiency. We've already figured out how to double that." The Dracon Empire's spies watched in horror as their stolen technology was not just copied, but transformed. Humanity took their best weapons and turned them into something new, something better. "How are they doing this so fast?" demanded Emperor Rix, watching the intelligence feeds. "It took us centuries to develop those systems." The answer came from an unexpected source, a human child's science project video that their spies discovered. The video showed how the girl had taken apart her toys and rebuilt them into something new, just for fun. The Dracon analysts finally understood. Humans weren't just good at copying, they loved to take things apart and make them better. In orbit around Mars, the first human ships equipped with improved Dracon technology began their test flights. They moved faster, hit harder, and had better shields than the original Dracon vessels. But humanity didn't stop there. "Watch this," Dr. Wells told Admiral Stone during a demonstration. She pointed to a small ship that looked nothing like either human or Dracon designs. "We combined their crystal technology with our AI systems. The result is a ship that can think and adapt its own structure during battle." The test ship shifted its form like liquid metal, its hull flowing and changing to match different combat situations. When fired upon, it could split into smaller ships, each one fully capable of fighting on its own. "It's like giving a ship evolution in real time," Wells explained proudly. "The Dracon built perfect warships, but we built something that can become whatever kind of ship it needs to be." The Dracon Empire's worst fears were confirmed when they intercepted transmissions about human production facilities. Humanity wasn't just making better ships, they were making them faster than anyone thought possible. "Sir," Reed showed Stone the latest intelligence. "The Dracon have discovered our automated factories in the asteroid belt. They're trying to replicate our production methods." Stone smiled. "How's that working out for them?" "They don't understand why it's not working. They have all the technical details, but—" Reed paused. "They're missing something." That something was human creativity. Where the Dracon saw a production line that must be followed exactly, humans saw opportunities to improve and experiment. Every human factory was slightly different, each worker adding their own improvements to the process. In just 1 month, humanity had taken the best technology the Dracon Empire had developed over centuries and revolutionized it. Earth's solar system was now bristling with defenses that mixed human ingenuity with advanced alien tech. "Send a message to the Dracon Empire," Stone ordered. "Show them footage of our new ships. Let them see exactly what we've done with their technology." The message was clear. Every weapon used against humanity would be studied, improved, and turned back against their enemies. The humans weren't just learning. They were teaching the galaxy a new way of thinking about technology. As Dr. Wells often said, the greatest human innovation isn't any single invention. It's our ability to look at something and ask, how can we make this better? Emperor Rix stood in the Dracon Empire's most secret facility, deep underground on a hidden moon. Around him, bioweapon containers glowed with sickly green light. After losing their best ships and most advanced technology to the humans, this was their last resort. "Release the plagues," he commanded, his voice heavy with desperation. "All of them." Across the galaxy, thousands of Dracon stealth ships launched, each carrying deadly diseases engineered to kill every known form of life. They had never failed before. On Earth, in the disease control center beneath the Pacific Ocean, alarms began to sound. Dr. Morgan, head of humanity's Biological Defense Division, looked at the readings and smiled. Right on schedule, she said, pressing a button on her console. Admiral Stone, they've launched the bioweapons just as the captured data predicted. Stone's voice came through the speaker. Are we ready? We've been ready for decades, Morgan replied. Remember all those natural plagues throughout human history? Most weren't natural at all. They were alien bioweapon tests. We've had centuries to build immunity and develop countermeasures. As the Drakon ships approached Earth, they encountered something unexpected, a shield made of engineered bacteria floating in space. The human-made microorganisms attacked and destroyed the Drakon bioweapons before they could reach Earth's atmosphere. Impossible, Emperor Rix shouted, watching the feeds. How did they know about our bioweapons? How did they prepare for this? The answer came in a transmission from Earth, showing historical footage of humans fighting diseases throughout their history. While other species tried to avoid plagues, humans had learned to fight them, to build immunity, to create vaccines. They had turned their own bodies into weapons against disease. Your bioweapons were impressive, Dr. Morgan's message played across Drakon screens. But we've been fighting invisible enemies since before we invented the wheel. Now, let us show you what we've learned. Human ships released clouds of engineered microbes that ate through Drakon ship hulls, but left human materials untouched. Other vessels deployed viruses that invaded Drakon computers, turning their own ships against them. They didn't just prepare defenses, Captain Reed reported to Stone. They weaponized their immunities. The Drakon Empire's biological warfare fleet, their ultimate weapon, was being destroyed by microscopic human creations. Ships corroded in minutes, computers failed, and communication systems went dark. Emperor Rix received increasingly desperate messages from his fleet. The humans weren't just surviving the bioweapons. They were using them as resources, breaking them down to create new weapons in real time. Sir, a Drakon scientist reported, the humans, they're collecting our bioweapons and improving them. They're learning from each attack we make. In the Pacific Ocean facility, Dr. Morgan watched as her automated labs analyzed and adapted to each new Drakon weapon. Fascinating, she said. They really thought diseases would work against a species that turned plagues into medical breakthroughs. The final blow came when human ships surrounded the Drakon's secret bioweapon moon. Instead of destroying it, they quarantined it, using the same techniques they had developed fighting diseases on Earth. You tried to use sickness against us. Stone's message played across all Drakon frequencies. But humanity's greatest strength is learning from our suffering. Every plague makes us stronger. Every attack teaches us more. Emperor Rix watched in horror as reports came in from across his empire. Human-engineered immunity was spreading through the population. His bioweapons were useless now, and worse, the humans had developed cures for diseases his people had suffered from for generations. Send the message, Stone ordered back on Earth. Make sure they understand. The transmission reached every corner of the Drakon Empire. Your bioweapons failed. Your technology belongs to us now. Your diseases are our new vaccines. The next phase of our response begins in 1 hour, unless you wish to discuss surrender terms. In the Drakon Imperial Palace, Emperor Rix looked at his advisors. For the first time in their history, the mighty Drakon Empire faced a choice: surrender or face an enemy that grew stronger with every attack. The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber was packed beyond capacity. Representatives from over 1,000 species crowded the ancient hall, all eyes fixed on the central platform where 3 figures stood: Admiral Stone representing Earth, Emperor Rix of the Drakon Empire, and High Elder Voss of the Council. This emergency session will now begin, Voss announced, his voice echoing through the chamber. We are here to address the conflict between humanity and the Drakon Empire, and to establish new protocols for interstellar relations. The massive screens above showed footage from the war. Human ships transforming mid-battle, Drakon fleets in chaos, and the final failed bioweapon attack. Many representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Admiral Stone stepped forward first. He wore a simple blue uniform with no decorations, looking almost plain compared to the ornate dress of other species. "We did not want this war," Stone began, his voice calm. "Humanity spent centuries preparing not because we wanted to fight, but because we wanted to survive. We watched your ships crash on our world. We studied your technologies. We learned your ways. All we ever wanted was to be left alone until we were ready to join the galactic community." Emperor Rix spoke next, his scales dulled with the shame of defeat. "The Dracon Empire acknowledges our error. We assumed that technological advancement followed a fixed path. We were wrong. Humanity showed us that innovation comes in many forms." The screens displayed new images: human engineers improving Dracon technology, biological labs developing cures from weapons, and AI ships adapting in real time to new threats. "Look at these achievements," High Elder Voss gestured to the screens. "In 6 months, humanity didn't just defeat an empire. They revolutionized warfare, medicine, and technology. They turned weapons into tools, plagues into cures, and enemies into reluctant admirers." Stone activated a hologram showing Earth's solar system. It now bristled with defenses that combined technologies from dozens of species in ways never before imagined. "We offer peace," Stone addressed the chamber. "Earth wishes to join the Galactic Council, not as conquerors, but as innovators. Every technology we captured, every advancement we made, we are willing to share, under the right conditions." The chamber erupted in excited whispers. Many species had suffered from Dracon bioweapons or struggled with their own technological limitations. The prospect of human innovation helping them was enticing. However, Stone continued, silencing the room, "We have one absolute requirement. Earth's space must remain sovereign. Any hostile action against our world will be met with the full force of human creativity. We don't want to fight, but we will never stop improving our ability to defend ourselves." High Elder Voss raised his hands. "The Council has reached its decision. Earth will be recognized as a sovereign power, with all rights and protections that status entails. Furthermore, we are establishing new protocols for technological exchange, with Earth taking a leading role in innovation research." Emperor Rix stepped forward one last time. "The Dracon Empire supports this decision. We have learned that true strength lies not in conquest, but in adaptation. Humanity taught us this lesson at great cost." The council session ended with the signing of new treaties. Earth would share its innovations, but maintain control over its military developments. The Dracon Empire would transition from conquest to cooperation, with human advisors helping them reform their society. As the representatives filed out of the chamber, Ambassador Gray, who had witnessed humanity's warning on his first day, approached Admiral Stone. "You could have destroyed the Dracon Empire," Gray observed. "Why show mercy?" Stone smiled. "Because humanity's greatest innovation isn't our weapons or defenses. It's our ability to turn enemies into friends, problems into opportunities, and destruction into creation. That's the real lesson we wanted to teach." The screens above showed one final image: Earth, a small blue planet that had forever changed the galaxy not through conquest, but through innovation and determination. The message was clear to all species. Humanity would not strike first, but they would always strike last, and they would only grow stronger with each challenge they faced.